Welcome to the Reticle Up podcast, where I, 3Gun Kenzie, will be interviewing competitive shooters, hunters, fishermen, archers, entrepreneurs, and outdoorsmen. Come learn with me as I interview people from all walks of life, in different disciplines, all across the world, from novices to professionals of all ages. No matter what, everyone has something they can teach you, so come join me on the journey. Hey everyone, I am here today with Brian Conway. He is the founder of Conway Carry. And I'm also here with Jeff Combs. He's the owner of Lima Charlie and the president of BattleBuddy3Gun. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys are here.
I'm excited to be here. This is fun.
I love this. I feel like we get to connect on a whole different level when we do virtual calls, not in our shooting jerseys.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you? So I want to know, how did you two meet? How did y'all get connected?
What was it? Grinder? Is that how it was? I think it was.
Yeah. 100%.
No, kind of podcast.
Yeah. We had a mutual buddy, Jack Smith. So
Okay.
he introduced us.
He was also on Grindr.
Instagram, basically.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
How did you? So you slid into Brian's DMs? Is what you're
Oh, he
saying.
did. Yeah.
that's right. I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I
I
screenshot
said,
that.
I said, hey, you want some free t-shirts? And he's like, yeah, sure, send them. So that's.
I love it. So how did you and Jack meet then? I'm curious, like how the thread goes. You know.
So
I met him in 2016. I knew Jack first, so Jeff is just the third wheel in this whole little escapade.
I am.
This might be my
No,
favorite.
so I literally day one of Lima Charlie having Instagram. That was before it was all like shadow banning gun stuff and everything. And so naturally everything popping up is just gun. And I just keep seeing this same dude over and over and over and over again. Some dude named Jack Shoots 29. And so I got on his page. I was a Marine. I was like, oh, solid. I'm in. Sent him a message, and the rest is history. So,
Sounds like a romance novel. I'm having him on the podcast on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Nice.
okay,
That's
so
gonna
she
be
didn't
miserable
pray
for you.
Do what?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one low.
Yeah. He went one step lower with him, so we're good.
Well, I mean, grip it and rip it is all I saw too. I can't even remember. Oh, we met at 3Gun Nationals in Holt. Me and Jack did. I RO'd him. Yeah.
Yep.
Small
Yep.
world. So, okay. What is BattleBuddy3Gun? Tell me like mission, vision, purpose, and take your time sharing what it's about.
Oh, don't tell Jeff to take his time. He'll sit here all night and talk about it.
That's what we're here for.
I can talk about BattleBuddy3Gun all day. That's for sure.
This is
No,
his
actually,
pride and
it's
joy.
funny. You said that. Yeah, but no, it's funny you said 3Gun Nation Nationals. That's kind of where this whole thing started. I sponsored it with Lima Charlie, and I obviously, being in a wheelchair, was not going to be shooting it. So threw it out there on Instagram, said, hey, if there's any shooters that are wanting to go and you want a free spot, I'm going to Airbnb a house. Come on down. And Jack kind of captained the team, and that was where the whole BattleBuddy3Gun conversation started. I said, I got some buddies in wheelchairs that like guns. I had been looking for a 3Gun event for wheelchair shooters for years. I know our buddy Hack was the same way. And so just kind of pitched him an idea. Hey, what would you guys think about helping us get started a 3Gun for people in wheelchairs? And sitting around Brian's kitchen table one night, we came up with the name BattleBuddy3Gun and kind of the what it was going to look like, and made a couple trips down to South Carolina to shoot at Echo 6 and do some kind of R&D, figure out what kind of equipment was going to work and how we were going to do this, some obstacles that we might run into, and that was kind of where we found what is I think going to be our signature with the Battle Buddy events is getting the able-bodied guys in chairs. And so we threw them in some wheelchairs, and kind of seemed like they saw things through a whole different world. Some issues that you don't normally think about when you're in a chair every day, and then these guys don't think about it because they don't have to be in a chair. So it just all kind of came together, and it's been a roller coaster ride, that's for sure, especially trying to start this in the middle of COVID. So
Yeah.
it was a challenge, but everybody was been super committed, and all the guys have made the travel every time, and so it's been a blast. I've been proud to have been a part of it. So
That's beautiful. 2019 too, for all of you listening. That's not that long ago. If you think about starting a nonprofit, kicking it off, creating these events, and it is not easy. You probably organized for a year for like just the first match, right? Brian, what did that look like?
Oh yeah, our November of 2019 is kind of when the conversation started, and that whole 2020, that's kind of where we just did all the R&D, did the testing, and September we did our very first clinic, and we had 5 chaired shooters out to South Carolina again, and we just had an absolute blast. And ever since then, it's just, I mean, it's skyrocketed since then. We got huge support from like not just little companies, but I mean, there's like major companies that have jumped on board with us, and we are super excited. Couldn't be more proud of what we're doing. It's just an absolute amazing feeling to know that what we're doing is potentially saving people's lives by getting them out off the couch and competing again. It's amazing.
100%.
I couldn't be happier.
I mean, even people without wheelchairs, I'm telling you, that's my mental health check. That's my stress relief. That's where I go to reset my mind for sure. Tell me about like, how did you guys get like the chairs made, or what did that process look like? That's not easy, and terrain is a consideration. So
yeah, absolutely. The terrain is definitely a consideration anywhere we go. But there's a few companies out there that make the off-road chairs. But we went with a company, CTAC Industries, and they are making the chairs for us. They have one of them that is done. It's our prototype. We had it at our first event in March, and I think they're on version 2 right now. Jeff knows a lot more about CTAC Industries on that one.
Yeah. So version 2 is in the works. It's another company that actually kind of got born of BattleBuddy3Gun. We were R&D and equipment, and we had a chair that was kind of working, and for what the chair was intended for, it was great. It was off-road, had some handlebars, was great. But then we just kind of started brainstorming about some other ideas and things that would be beneficial. And so I got introduced to another buddy of mine that is a fabricator, and he's like, I can build you a wheelchair. And so many late nights in his garage, and fallen once or twice out of the chair because it didn't work. But a few bumps and bruises later, we've got the prototype, and it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. We want BattleBuddy3Gun to be as close to regular 3-gun as possible. I mean, that's what all adaptive sports for people in chairs, it's to imitate the sport as closely as possible. And so we figured out that having some kind of table to act as our battle belt, where we can have mags and safely holster a pistol, have shotgun caddies and all that. So we're still we're on version 2. It'll be the first production version of the chair. We're excited about it. I don't know if it's going to be ready for our next event, but hopefully by midsummer we're going to have it. Is the goal. And so that's kind of how the chair got started. It started with BattleBuddy, and just has grown from there.
So your first event, and you can probably talk about this in a second, so I'll talk about it real quick. So you guys had a first event. I want to hear about the feedback, and then I want to talk about the match coming up for sure. So tell me about that first event. What did you learn about everything?
Real quick side note.
Yeah.
I think my memory is going to be full with all the screenshots I'm taking of his face when it freezes.
Yeah, I told you they do this all the time. They give me such a hard time because my internet is terrible.
Oh God.
I think you'd quit being cheap and upgrade that thing.
You need fiber.
I live close within 15 miles from the nearest town, maybe.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So
Running an
our-
all-based business going nowhere, not a good idea, let me tell you.
That's true. It's hard.
So you want to know about our
Ugh.
first match or the first clinic that we had?
You know what? Tell me about the whole like process. Yeah, like clinic to event. I mean, what did that look like? What did you learn?
What we learned is it's actually hard to get chaired shooters.
Really?
It's challenging because I think there's a learning curve, and at least my perception of it, there's a lot of guys that are in chairs that are intimidated by this 3-gun. So 3-gun is an intimidating sport as it is.
Yes.
And then you got the guys in the chairs, and they're like, well, I don't know if I want to do this. Plus, it's 3-gun, and I really don't know how.
Right.
So that's kind of how we developed the clinic, so we can teach 3-gun before we actually have a competition. So our first one was a 2-day where we had just basic 3-gun. Jack came, he taught the 3-gun and just the fundamentals, everything like that. And we had 2 stages set up. And by the end of the second day, all the chaired shooters, they're just zipping through this course as fast as they can. And it came up as an unofficial time. We had a whiteboard out there. We're just writing on times. And of course, Jeff won. He won by default.
There you go.
No,
Oh, yeah.
knock it off.
Hey, that's a big deal, yo. And that's some
Don't congratulate him. I'll do that.
We just got to make sure Hack sees this podcast so that I can just rub it in a little more.
Yeah.
We're not competitive at all.
Well, honestly, you can't. I don't do anything. Honestly, that's not a competition. Like, except maybe eating. I'll slow down on that. But yeah.
So yeah, he was thrilled about that. And then let's see. Then we planned for probably about a month to do our March competition. We had it set for later in the month, but then we ended up on March 6th. And I was fortunate enough to go out to the Gundies, and I invited Jerry Mitchell out and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And next thing you know, he decided to show up to the match. I mean, it was absolutely incredible to have him there.
Yeah.
Not only did he show up to the match, he showed up the day before and helped
Yep.
build stages for like 3 or 4 hours.
It was incredible.
Jerry's a class act.
He shows up. Everybody's like trying not to geek out because this is like our first time really one-on-one with Jerry. And so the next thing you know, he's like, oh, I got my work gloves in the truck. I'll be right back. And he goes and grabs his gloves and is building stages, and by far the hardest worker out there.
Oh, 100%.
It was awesome.
100%. And that's a testament to like the community too. Like people who don't reset drive me absolutely insane. And there was a picture a long time ago that really got me into 3-gun too. And I saw that he was like resetting the stage. I'm like, if Jerry Mitchell, like, you know, pro shooter, probably the best shooter I've ever heard of in my lifetime, can take the time to reset, and you can't, like, you know, that's a class.
I agree with that completely. Yeah, I completely agree with that statement. Some of the feedback that we got, we did an all chaired stage where every single shooter sat in the SeaTac Injuries chair. Cool. and it was self-propelled. We had it went shotgun, rifle, and then it ended on a plate rack. And that was by far the most humbling stage, and that was the best feedback that we got from everybody. And they were super excited. They were like, "Look, that's put you on a whole different playing field." And it was just extremely humbling. Was a lot of the feedback that we heard from all the shooters. So that is now our staple, and that is going to be in every single match that we do from here on out.
Oh, I love it. I mean, 3-gun throws a ton of obstacles at you. And so that's just something that you guys deal with every day, right? So I think it's powerful for us to be in that position. I want to shoot it really bad.
You got to come out.
Come to St. Louis. We'll be here.
I know you guys scheduled on top of 2-gun nationals, I think it is. And then I'll be there literally the weekend after.
Yeah, we picked a bad date. We were not aware of that match, but we're still going to go through, and we're still going to have fun.
Oh yeah, Lead Farm, dude, that facility is badass. When you get into the clubhouse and stuff and see what Matt and his family have built, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, we're staying on the bunkhouse.
Yes, I did too. Dude, the water pressure, y'all. Oh my God. When you take a shower, no. When you take a shower, you text me, you let me know. That is the best freaking shower I've ever had.
Now I'm gonna get selfies of Brian in the shower. That's what I'm gonna get from this.
There you go. Hey, you got to have selfies, at least one from every match.
It's great. It's great. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell me about the March match. As far as feedback from the shooters that you got to show up and check out 3Gun. What did they think?
I mean, it was just overwhelmingly positive. And they wanted to know when the next one was immediately. And it's like, well, let's slow down a little bit. We're trying.
Yeah.
But it was, Jackie put together all the stages, and I mean, they were awesome stages. We had a few little snafus here, but it's our first one. We expected them. We had, I think, 42 or 43 shooters. Awesome. So, I mean, that for our first fundraiser match, I mean, that was amazing. It was, it's a testament to what we're doing that many people came out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was really cool. And something that has always gets me is just when we get to see the pictures, you know, so seeing the pictures of these guys, you know, just the smile on their face. It's like, you know, you can go and have fun, and I've done plenty of cool things in the last 10 years since I've been in a chair, but there's as soon as you hear that beep go off and that chair starts moving and your battle buddy's pushing you and you're locked in and you just start ripping, oh my gosh. Like, I was a trigger pull in the Marine Corps and I had not had that feeling in 10 years. And let me tell you, oh, it's like a drug. It's like
it is. Drug. It's a good drug.
And
best damn drug.
So to know that, you know, we're providing something that, you know, quite frankly, I never thought I was going to get to do again. When I was when they told me I was paralyzed, my vision of my life was like, I'm going to lay in bed and I guess Netflix and chill all day, because like, that's what I thought my life was going to be. And, you know, it's yeah. Well, you know, I occasionally get up and out of bed now, but you know, to be able to get out and shoot guns, I never thought that was going to be a thing again. And then once I did start shooting guns, you know, it was something that I was like, oh, this is fun. Like, you know, I go out and shoot in the backyard with friends and stuff like that, target shoot here and there, you know, trap and skeet. Yeah, it's fun, you know, to shoot with some buddies. But to actually like do a competitive adrenaline rush type sporting event again, never thought that was going to happen. And so to know that we're providing this for guys, when quite frankly, it still blows my mind that to this date, we haven't had somebody be like, oh yeah, I shot one of these, you know, out here in, you know, Arizona or New Mexico, or, you know, I keep waiting for somebody to be like, oh yeah, somebody's doing this here, somebody's doing this there, but nobody's doing it. It's crazy. And so, you know, we're excited about it, you know, to kind of be on the ground floor, to be one of the first ones. You know, I don't know if you've ever had one of those ideas that you had and then you didn't act on it, and then like 2 years later you see a commercial for it and you're like, man, I should have done it.
Yeah.
Like, I keep waiting for us to get to that point, but it's like, dang, we might be the ones that people are saying that about. Like, I can't believe we didn't start 3Gun. So it's exciting.
That's awesome. Absolutely. You said that you're having a struggle finding more people in chairs. So do you want to talk about maybe like how our community can help? Like, what are you looking for? How do we reach out? How do we get these people signed up or even aware of it?
Hey, we have our social media, we have our website, and we're trying to get on podcasts like this. We were on Gun Funny, what was it, 2 months ago or a month and a half ago? I can't remember when it was. And we're just trying to get our name out there as best we can to let people know that, hey, there's a new sport out here. It's geared towards guys and gals in chairs. And the misconception that a lot of people have is that we're strictly for veterans, and we're not. I mean, if you want to come out and have fun, just come on out. We're game for anybody.
Tell me about the battle buddy, like the person that actually like pushes and stuff. Like, how does that work? You have a teammate? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so actually the person that pushes, we have a stand and deliver. It's usually at the end of the course,
Mhm.
or it could be at the beginning where both shooters are actually shooting the course of fire.
Cool.
So if you'll take the buzzer goes off, you'll start engaging targets. The paired shooter will start engaging targets. You'll push to the next one. Right now we have it so that all the guns are staged. But like Jeff said, we're trying to get the table so that the shooter can be more self-sufficient and do everything on their own. And then right at the end, we'll have like an array of targets where both just post up and you're just laying lead down range. So it's super exciting. Right? It's just it's one of those things that you're not really you don't think it's going to be fun until you're actually out there doing it, and it's a blast.
Yeah, it's one of those things that making it a team event, making it a little bit different. It's my hope at least is that guys come to these events not knowing each other, and then they get paired up with a disabled shooter, and they become a friendship forms over that, and the next thing you know, you've got guys calling each other, hey, there's a Battle Buddy event going on in Florida, you want to go? And getting guys out, because part of the problem is is getting guys out. After my accident, I went through like 3.5 years where I didn't do anything. I didn't leave the house. I didn't want to live life, to be honest. And there's a lot of guys out there like that, because they think life's over. They think that they're not going to be able to enjoy life and have fun again. And so the hope is that getting someone to an event, that's the hardest part, because I know that once they show up and once they get involved, it's going to be game over. They're not going to want they're going to want to do every event that they can get to. But getting the guys out there, getting the word out is the hard part. And like Brian said, I mean, doing shows just like yours, I mean, it's a huge help to just try to get it out there to the community, because you never know who's going to listen or who's going to see or read something, and have a friend that is in that situation. And then then it becomes one of those things like, hey, we're getting you out of the house, we're going and doing this, and getting guys living again. That's the goal.
Oh, I love that. I still haven't met Brian. I've talked a lot of shit to him about his shotgun stuff over the internet already.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's how we met, talking shit about my quad loading.
I've never met a stranger on the internet or in 3-Gun. That's just how it is, though. Jeff, I don't know if you want to talk about it, and I want to be sensitive to this, but when these guys or gals come out in chairs, how do they want to be treated? Just like everyone else. Do you want to talk about that?
So I can tell you this: the only people that I hang out in my life anymore is the people that treat me the exact same way as before I was in a wheelchair. My best friends, they give me crap for being in a wheelchair. I give my buddies crap for being bald. I give Brian crap because he's a terrible shooter. Like, I'm in a wheelchair. That's my thing. So, and I think that, nobody wants to get pampered and catered to, you're just you. It's and it's something that took me a while to get to that point. But I think that I've done the most healing since I've started being around people that treated me like that, because you kind of do have that fragile ego at first. Things that you don't think, you go out to eat with some friends and there's some stairs there and you're like, oh shit, how do I get in? It's a little intimidating, and that's something that we're trying to make very clear to people is, yes, you can come out and be as competitive as you want with Battle Buddy, but you can also come out and shoot and run the slowest stage times. And if you're having a good time, that's what it's about. You don't have to come out there and be Jerry Michalik your first time out. Come out, check it out, have fun, and the competitiveness will just naturally grow as the friendships develop, as the trash talking starts. Yes. It's just, okay, okay, I got this, and then you're ready to go.
So, you know, I'm not on your level, Jeff, but I swear to God, it happens every match. Someone cusses in front of me and they look at me and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am." And I was like, first of all, do not call me ma'am. Second of all, if I could not handle any curse word or anything out there, do you think that I would still have made it this far in this industry? Right? It's like, fuck
Right.
you. Like, are you really going to try
Yeah.
just because I have different body parts? Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not friends, by the way.
You should see us like when we're all in a group, like when we were just out in Texas for the 3-gun championship.
Yeah.
And if you don't know us and you just start hearing our conversations,
They hate each other.
oh my gosh, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all in good fun, and I don't treat Jeff any different than I treat anybody else. I get mad when he messes up my doors with his chair, but I mean, it's part of the
being
package.
friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm working on
man.
getting skinnier. I'm working on getting skinnier.
Yeah, that's hard.
You
Me
were the
too.
chair.
Me too. Nah. I have a question for you. Actually, each of you can take turns. But all right, so Jeff, you said you've done a lot of cool shit over the years, and Brian, I'm not jealous or anything, but you got to go to the Gundy Awards. So, what is the coolest shit you've ever done in this industry that I don't know if you can ever top again? You know?
Oh man, I'm gonna go first on this one. I would honestly have to say it was the Gundies out of Drive Tanks. And I've been in the military. I've got to do a lot of cool shit. I flew in helicopters. I shot out of helicopters. But I've never stood next to a tank 10 feet away when they launched that thing off, and it was amazing.
So cool.
And I know it's just going to get better from here. I mean, it was just that was a really cool experience, and I'm pumped and ready for the next one.
So cool. Jeff, how about you?
He hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I haven't. No.
I see his guns in the background. Those are legit. Anyways.
No, he just set those up for the video. 100%.
I was fortunate. I was an 03 in the Marine Corps, so I was a trigger puller. I got to jump out of the helicopters he was shooting out of, and land on the ground and do some shooting. But I mean, it's kind of cliche, but battle buddies. I mean, I never I mean, think about like if tomorrow you woke up and you were told, like, you thought you were never gonna get to shoot guns again, you were never gonna get to do that, anything like that, and then all of a sudden you talk to some guys, and that's what's so humbling about this. You know, these guys, they can go shoot a 3-gun match wherever they want, whenever they want. You know, the fact that these guys are taking the time and spending the money to come and shoot an event that's, you know, been planned out for somebody in a wheelchair. It means a lot to me. Just because, like I said, they don't have to do that. They can go do that wherever. So the fact that people are getting involved, the fact that these guys have gotten you know, involved, this never would have happened if it wasn't for them. So you know, to all of the able-bodied guys with BattleBuddy3Gun, I have the utmost respect and the most gratitude towards them, because it really is. I mean, when you know, I think anything, if you know, we have the kind of personalities that if we're told we can't do something,
we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. Like, yeah. And so you know, for you know, for waiting for that moment for 10 years and it's finally here. It's on par with fast roping out of helicopters. It really is. So BattleBuddy3Gun in March, getting to shoot that match was an absolute blast.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, do you want to talk a little bit about Lima Charlie? So I mean, I really want to talk about entrepreneurship. All of us are entrepreneurs. So I do want to hear about what made you start that and what that is.
So Lima Charlie is the apparel line that I have started producing. It started with another organization that I'm part of. It's a dive organization for people with disabilities. They needed t-shirts. I'm like, it can't be that hard to make a t-shirt. And so I started YouTubing and just went on a little YouTube binge for a while and learned how, and bought a cheap little press and got it up and running, and I was like, ah, this is kind of fun, and then you go to an event, and you see everybody wearing the shirts that you made. It's kind of cool, and so it's that's kind of how that started. Was just an organization I was part of needed it, and then I was like, you know what, I got some funny, fun ideas. Let's do this. And guns is a huge part of my life. It's really, like you said, that's my reset. Like when I need to clear my head, when stress gets to me, I go out in the backyard and I shoot guns, and it's great. So so that's what I'm passionate about, and that's kind of what the shirts have kind of been developed about. Getting to spend time in the military, I like to feel like I'm a very patriotic person. I was, and I still am proud that I got to spend that time in the military. And so it's just a patriotic, gun loving, Second Amendment supporting apparel line.
So many people are afraid to start their own business, right? Or they talk about it forever and ever. So tell me, how easy is it to start a business, and talk about your total investment for a t-shirt company?
Man, I had no idea what I was getting into. That's for sure. It's when I run the numbers, it's kind of mind-boggling sometimes. I'm like, man, wow, a lot goes into it. It's got to be something that you can't be kind of on the fence about. You really kind of just got to take the leap if it's something that you really want to do. But I can tell you, it's a very fulfilling path to a career. The fact that I'm able to provide jobs for other people, it's very gratifying, and I've really enjoyed it. It's not been easy. I mean, I put in 80-hour week all the time. There's definitely a sacrifice. Outside of BattleBuddy, I don't have much of a social life. That's for sure. That it takes hours to put in, and so it's something that I'm the first one in my family to start a company, so I've had no idea. It's been been the tough sometimes, but I've been fortunate enough to have some friends come alongside me that are fellow entrepreneurs that are very successful businessmen, and they've kind of helped show me the ropes, introduce me to people, and hey, you should consider this, and here's some good tax people, and here's a good business lawyer, and so it's been a lot of fun. It's been very rewarding, but it has been a lot of work. So,
I mean, when you talk about 80 hours, though, would you rather do that or work 40 hours for somebody else's dream?
Oh, absolutely. Mom calls and she needs something at the house. I can close the doors, take off, and go help out. My nephew needs a babysitter. I can, so in that way it's very gratifying, and very nice to be able to have that freedom. And then when BattleBuddy comes along, you can have your buddies come over and stay the night, for a couple nights and help set up and all that. So it is very rewarding, but you just got to be willing to put in the work, put in the time. So.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You gotta be all in or driven or type A or whatever. I mean, I've learned a lot. You learn a lot about people as well. But it grows you. And I mean, even me starting this podcast, there could be 0 listeners right now. There could be 100, but I'll learn something, whether it's a success or a failure. And I want to turn over to Brian too. So you started Conway Concealed Carry. We've talked about carry classes. Laws are changing. I'm getting constitutional carry where I live. Tell me about what it was like starting that business.
And it was pretty easy and straightforward. I mean, I always wanted to instruct. Guns I've been raised on guns. It's what I do. I use it in my profession, and I just wanted to be able to give the citizens here an outlet to be able to exercise their rights. I mean, it's state mandated that you have to take an 8-hour course here, and why not be able to be the facilitator for that? It was I had to go through like a 3-day course to become an instructor.
You did the
And
NRA certification, right?
yeah, just the
same.
basic NRA, basic
Yeah.
pistol.
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah, done. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Here's your money every 2 years. Leave me alone.
$40 renewal or 20 or something ridiculous.
Yeah. And that's it. And I think last year I had 270 students last year, which was not bad. It was a pretty busy year. It's been really slow this year, surprising. I don't know, probably because of ammunition. That's my guess. And South Carolina just went to an open carry state, but you still have to have a concealed carry permit to open carry.
Yeah.
Which is, it's weird to me, and I'm trying to figure it out because I got to add that into my PowerPoint now. And everybody's calling me, asking me questions like, so can I carry now? It's like, no, it's not. They can't do it yet. You got to wait 90 days. But it's very rewarding knowing that there's people out on the streets that could possibly save themselves or somebody else because of the class that I gave them.
100%. Okay. And the other thing too is how often, for one question, that you get asked, how did you become an instructor? How do you? And you give people the advice, you tell them where to go, and how many of them actually do it?
None. Nobody does it. None.
Zero.
It's the easiest course. I mean, all you have to do is sit there. A 24-hour course. That's it. You go 24 hours, you're done. There's your certificate. You come up with a lesson plan, and that's it.
And it's insane.
Nobody
Tennessee,
does it.
They give you the lesson plan. All you gotta do is read it.
Oh, geez.
I know.
That makes things even easier.
Let me tell you though, as someone that has sat through Brian's course, it definitely feels like 8 hours.
Jeff, oh my God, we're gonna become best fucking friends. I'm telling you what, Brian's out.
Of course, he was sitting through my course.
I was.
Yeah, and they didn't even get up.
There was nothing standing and applause worthy. That's why.
No, there wasn't. Oh, I give Jeff shit every day. When he first met Jerry, he didn't even try and stand up to shake his hand. I was so mad at him.
Jesus Christ.
So mad.
Okay, so Jeff learning from him though. Okay, how important is it to actually find an instructor who, like, one, gives a shit, and two, knows what they're talking about?
Oh, absolutely. The only thing worse than not learning is learning the wrong thing. So that's one thing that I've been. I mean, the pieces with BattleBuddy just fell into place because to find an instructor like Brian, to find an instructor like Jack, that just, I mean, complete out of the blue on Instagram, you just, out of any person that was posting gun posts, to get connected with these guys, I mean, it's one of those things that, like, you look back at the timeline and you see how all of these pieces started falling into place. And it's one of those things, like, I think I do sit back and think quite often, I'm like, man, this just, it has to be meant to be, because we've just been so blessed to have all of these pieces fall into place.
I love it. Brian, what were you about to say at the start? I heard some sarcasm coming.
Yeah, I wanted Jeff to move out of the way. Sorry, the show was there.
After I said all those nice things, what kind of trash were you going to talk about?
Yeah, right.
I wanted you to move out of the way. Turbo's in the view. Get Turbo up here.
He's really cute.
Yeah, nobody cares about Jeff.
No, Turbo takes the show anywhere he goes.
Look at him.
I love it. Okay, so, and then to bring it back around to you with the instructing. All right, so Brian, Sherry, what's the best experience that you've had? What's the worst experience that you've had?
So the best experience I had was this lady. She was absolutely terrified of guns, wanted nothing to do with them. Her mom was in her 70s.
Oh, wow.
She came, took my class, brought her daughter, and then the lady brought her daughter. So it was a trifecta. And the middle lady, she absolutely wanted nothing to do with it. So I was like, okay, let's do this. Just come for an hour. We'll do a lesson, and then you can take my course. By the time she was finished my course, she's like, okay, where do I go buy a gun? So it was awesome. It was very rewarding.
Yeah.
The worst one I had, a gentleman decided to put his earmuffs on.
Besides
Jeff, that's a guarantee. Yeah.
What the hell?
There's just once you accept that no hope. It's
No.
not. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, the worst experience was when Jeff came and he tried to roll over and start stapling targets, and it was just miserable. He stapled them all like real low. I was like, Jeff, they need to be higher. It just wasn't working.
There you go.
No, but the worst experience was a gentleman decided to put his earmuffs on while he was holding his gun. I was like, okay. That happens all the time. You'd be surprised. It didn't just happen one time.
Like, oh, but
No, I've seen multiple. It's insane.
Jesus Christ. I make them put them on before we even step out. So maybe that's the trick. I'm like, eyes, ears now, and you do not touch them.
Yeah. No, I did, but then he had to put his gun down and he had to readjust. It's like pick his gun up, readjust again. I was like, oh God. Okay.
Oh Lord.
So let's move on anyway.
Okay. So yeah, what's both of y'all's first experience like shooting a gun? Did someone teach you? Like, were you just curious? Was it when you were older? Like, what was that like?
I taught Jeff how to.
Really? First time?
Yeah.
No way. Military. Bro.
That's where I learned.
Nuh-uh.
First trigger I pulled was Marine Corps boot camp.
No way. What was it? What gun?
The AR-15.
High point. It was a high point.
Or M16, I guess at that time.
M16.
M16A2. 16A2. Yeah. That was day one. So I grew up in the city. I played sports growing up. That guns and that wasn't a big thing. And yeah. So that was I learned from the best. It was a little intimidating when you've got instructors right there, but I got to learn the proper way, so I can't complain.
So when did you actually pick up like a pistol or a handgun?
Marine Corps.
Okay, so they
Same
did that
thing.
too. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So Beretta M9. Oh yeah.
God.
That thing's...
God, I hate Berettas sometimes.
Yeah.
Like that. Just the double trigger, double action. I don't know. I struggle.
Yeah, lots of guys. I mean, lots of guys didn't want to carry sidearms because the like you go shoot and you get to show up with your little expert rifle shooter badge, and then you got this big old pizza box that means like you barely qualified with the pistol. Nobody wants to wear that on their chest because everybody knows what that means, and so yeah. But yeah, the Marine Corps was where I learned, and that's where I fell in love with it. So getting to be an 03, that was my job every day. I got to go out and shoot at the range 3-4 times a week, and so I loved it.
That's awesome.
And mop the squad
And they
bay.
paid for the ammo. That was
Yeah, the ammo paid for is bullshit, but yeah,
well, that was the crazy thing. So all my buddies are like, they're all like, man, we're shooting a lot, and I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? They're like, you don't understand how expensive ammo is. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, not thinking like you do a mag dump, no big deal. There's a whole pallet like right behind you. Just go jam mags again, and then you got into the real world, and you're like, oh.
Now
like,
it's $1.50.
Maybe a couple of boxes. Yeah, maybe a couple of boxes fall off the back of the truck or something like that. So
yeah. Brian, we interrupted you again, but we really didn't want to hear from you, so we can just keep going.
I know. No, I'm just gonna stay quiet. That's usually how it works, especially when we have like board meetings. I'm like engaged for like 5 minutes, and then Jack starts giving me shit. So I'm like, all right, I'm up.
Love it.
You should just sit in on the board meetings. Like you would just absolutely. Brian, tell him what your father-in-law said the first time he came home after hanging out with us at the range all day.
He was like concerned for me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, why? What's up?" He's like, "They were riding you pretty hard." I was like, "Oh, that's nothing. That was a easy day."
My dad's the complete opposite. So my dad will meet my piece of friends, right? And everywhere we go, he'll go up to them, shake their hand, be like, "I'm so fucking glad she has you. Do not ever be nice to her. Keep it up." Like everyone he meets, he's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Really?" So you need that. I was like, "Yeah, you're not wrong."
Well, it's because Brian's the heartthrob. He pulls on the heartstrings. Any interview you see about Brian, he's like, choking back tears and kind of wiping his eyes.
Hey,
he's the sensitive, emotional one.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with that.
If you saw the slow-mo of him like seeing Jerry, it would have been like, ah.
Oh no, there's a picture. I posted it. Yeah.
I have pictures I will send you. Yes.
I remember my first time. No, really though. It's interesting because I got to meet him like at SHOT Show. He came to my range in Florida. We shot like multi-gun nationals down in Frostproof. So it normalizes the experience, which is weird, right? Like at the first time you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And now like he's a normal dude. What changed? It's weird.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna normalize for me. That's like one of those things where it's like ingrained in my brain that he's always gonna be on this pedestal for me.
That's cute. That's cute, Brian. Keep
so
him
Brian, can I talk about some of the other can I talk about some of the other big name sponsors that we haven't really announced yet?
Yeah, of course.
Leave
I don't know.
leave one of them out. The newest one that we just heard, leave that one out. But everybody else you're good for.
Newest one. I don't know if you've the newest.
Uh-oh.
one.
Yes, you do. Frankie told you.
Uh-oh. You
Well,
might
maybe
need
I
a
shouldn't.
text real quick.
Yeah, no. I always get myself in trouble. I don't know what I can and can't say. I
Yeah.
just want to say everything. Like
Oh, the one
Anyway,
that Frankie told you
at the
today,
board
leave
meeting
that one
last
out.
at the board meeting last night, Frankie started name dropping some of these companies that he's been talking to like on a daily basis. And I'm like, Frankie, can we just time out and can you just explain to me the fact that you just said this company, and Jerry in the same sentence, like it's a normal thing? That's still mind blowing to me. The support that we have been getting, it makes me smile every time I think about it. So as soon as we're allowed to say, we'll let you know. But,
I love it. And like when this
it's
episode
exciting.
comes out, we could post that or share it. It'll probably be old news by then, but you know.
No, it'll definitely be it should be confirmed tomorrow. I think it's confirmed now,
So-
but I just no. Wait,
We'll get back on a phone call and you can like edit vocals into this. We can plug those names in.
Oh, it's gonna be a
she's gonna
female
edit you out
female
completely.
voice.
I think we've already established that she and I are going to become best friends.
Oh, 100%.
If anybody's getting edited.
This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can't wait.
imagine this, but there's 8 of us.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's a
insane.
shit show. It's a shit show. I told Jack I'd come help anytime.
Well, you say, so you're down in Florida?
I moved. So I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee now. I travel the country still shooting and everything. So I'm not far.
Perfect. We need a range in Tennessee. We have had 3 or 4 different people from Tennessee
Mhm.
ask if we were ever coming around that way.
Okay.
So
There's a
let's
couple
let's
here.
get together
One,
and get something.
yeah. There's a new one that I might even get to teach on that. We'll talk to them. I'll talk to them. We'll find them.
Yeah, so that is one thing that we've kind of tried to adopt as part of our business model with BattleBuddy is kind of more us coming to you, especially because this is so new.
Yeah.
So 3-gun itself isn't a huge sport. So when people hear 3-gun and that it's a new sport and they want to try it, to get them to make the financial commitment to travel, to stay in a hotel, to pay for ammo at current ammo prices. And, we've been fortunate enough to partner with some companies that are helping supply weapons so that the shooters don't have to have their own stuff.
Awesome.
That's kind of part of what we're trying to do. And so finding and partnering with ranges that one, like you were saying, the terrain is definitely a big piece because, the last thing we want is guys to come out to an event and then not be able to get around and not be able to get to the bathroom and not be able to get into the, conference room or anything like that, So I mean, that's been challenging, but by us coming to them, it limits their cost. And I think it's going to be an easier way for us to get guys to events. There's not going to be quite financial commitment. So yeah.
Yeah, so
our goal is to be turnkey ready so that we can come, like he was saying, with all the firearms, with all the equipment, so that guys that just want to try it out, they try it out. And if they like it, then they can go get their own equipment.
So basically, if you're listening to this podcast right now, they need help finding ranges all across the country that are terrain friendly for chairs, maybe to put on 3-gun matches, clinics. So if you know of any, start reaching out and I'll connect you, or at the very end, we'll have a share out of how you can reach them too. So
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I gotta ask too. The shooting community is very small, but it's very impactful. So I do want to know, like, how has the shooting community changed your lives, and how many people have you met because of this sport?
I think I've met more people in the shooting community than I have in my entire life, and it's more of a family than it is anything else. It's when you meet one person, regardless of how long it's been, you see them at a match, you recognize them, a piece of your equipment breaks. Hey, you got this? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like people they'll bend over backwards to help you out at a match. It's amazing. Any kind of equipment you need or use some weapons or anything, but well, don't ask for ammo because nobody's giving that up.
100%. We've been talking about that lately. I was like, your match is on me, but not your ammo. Like I'll give you gear and I'll pay for the entry fee maybe, but
yeah.
Right.
No ammo.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So for me, I generally, as a general rule, I don't like people. I have a hard time. I've never been that politically correct person. If you meet me in real life, you're gonna hear like 7,000 F's.
When it's happening.
When in real life, I don't have politically correct language. I stutter a lot. I got a TBI, so it takes me like a minute to form my thoughts. I'll say the same thing over and over. I tell Brian the same stories all the time, and he's like, he finishes, and I'm like, oh, I told you.
He's a pretty patient guy.
And then when he starts drinking, it's so much worse.
That's another thing is I like to have a good time. I like to loosen up and relax, and so it doesn't I like to shoot guns and drink whiskey. Sue me,
Yep. And I like cigars.
But yeah, no. You see the humidor back there?
Yeah, I've got. Oh yeah, I've been looking. I have one too.
There, yeah. So I really I was kind of joking about it earlier. The shooting community is my only time I get off my property. Like, yeah, that's my people. Like, if I'm going somewhere, I want to go be around these people. I want to go do that. And so for me, it's been great. I've traveled more for Battle Buddy in this last year than I have in years past. I do some scuba diving on the side. I love doing that. That's what kind of got me out of my shell originally. But guns is where it's been at for me. I've loved them since I started shooting the Marine Corps. The smell of gunpowder. I love it. It just, it gets.
Did you get a screenshot of that one?
Did I free? Yeah. See, I should just turn my video off.
Yeah. It was an epic. Epic.
No,
the way you
I've
were
been
talking about gunpowder.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. So the shooting community has been great. It has gotten me kind of back a little bit more social and out there and talking and hanging out with people. I didn't do social media until Lima Charlie, and the only people that I still talk to are the gun people community. Like, it drives me nuts that all I see is like pictures of like bodybuilders and girls in bikinis on my Instagram. Like that's all you have to like actually go search for people. And so
if you stop searching,
but yeah.
If you disconnect your porn from when you have something like open on social media, it'll help.
So you're saying I should close this screen right here and that one right there? The perks of having a 27-inch iMac is I can have multiple things open at the same time. You're probably not.
You're like red in the face.
Yeah, because I deal with this all the time. This is just like, it's so embarrassing.
Oh, it's so good though.
Because I have no. Yeah.
That's why you're on this podcast.
Yeah. Anyway.
Rated.
I love the gun. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to put out a parental warning.
Disclaimer. Yeah, I know. I figured that one out.
Like, people are gonna be pulling audio from this, and they're gonna be sending it to their friends like all the way turned up. So when they open it in the office, like, oh shit, click, get out of this. That's what's gonna happen.
My podcast gonna be shut
And I'm
down
not
for
even
like 1 week.
This is Mountain Dew. I'm not even. This is Mountain Dew. I am on my best behavior.
I love it. Well, okay, so wrapping this up ish. I want to hear if there's one thing you could have told yourself, maybe doing early on when it came to taking a class or when it came to actually going to shoot, 3-gun. What would you have told yourself back then?
Do it sooner.
Yes.
And I was intimidated.
Do what?
I'm speaking, Jeff. I'm speaking. It's my turn. You see this? I get interrupted, and it's like whatever.
No.
I was so intimidated. Guys, come on, man. Give me a second. Am I good? Can I talk now?
Go, Ryan. I can mute him. Like I have that power.
Why haven't we done this from the beginning?
Because we're best friends.
We are. There. Sorry.
All right, fair enough. Fair. Okay. I'd always been intimidated by 3-gun. I started like shooting USPSA, and Jack, he was pushing me to do the 3-gun, and I was like, I don't really want to. And then he got me to do it one day, and like ever since then, I was just hooked on it. So if you have any kind of inclination to do it, just do it sooner. Just go for it.
Absolutely.
I'm done. Thank you.
Well, so Jack's got a great line, and I don't know if he stole this from somebody maybe, but he was the first person I heard say it. He said that 3-gun is the apex shooting sport. So it's too good to be his. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so for me, it would just like Brian said, do it sooner. For me, it's do it more often.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I learn so much when I'm around these guys. I love it. I just I talk a lot, but when they're instructing, I just sit back, shut up, because there's so much to learn. And I was fortunate learning to shoot in the Marine Corps. You really just shut up and listen. And I try to, when it comes to my learning of shooting stuff, make that a habit. Is there's always something that I can learn. And shoot, even just down at Texas, we were all sitting around talking. I mean, just sitting there having conversations with guys talking about reloads and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I never thought about that. And then I go home and I tried it. I was like, oh yeah, that works. So yeah, I staying humble and knowing that there's always something to be learned has been the biggest help for me. So.
Dude, that's the best advice. Check your ego at the door when you hit the range. Check your ego in classes. I learn stuff from my students still, and I always do. I always come back with something I learned, because someone can teach you everything or new stuff. And if you come in with the attitude of like, I know everything, you're going to learn jack shit and you're going to look like an asshole. So.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Any final nuggets that you guys want to leave people with?
I'm sure Jeff's left some in his chair.
Just for you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything. I'm good. Find us a BattleBuddy3Gun. Look at us on our website, Instagram. We're really making big pushes to come out and make this sport happen. We're headed to Missouri in what's today's date? Like 2 weeks we'll be in Missouri, June 11th and 12th, and then we'll be in Port Malabar at the end of August. And then we have an event planned in Texas the beginning of September.
Awesome. I was gonna say, any other shout outs if you remembered for sponsors, what people you can say?
Yeah.
Brian, you take that one.
Yeah, I'll take this one. So, yeah, Primary Arms, they have been absolutely golden to us. They hooked up every optic that we have for our rifles, Radical rifle. They've donated all the rifles to us. And we're having a few more that are in the works. Radco Lube, they supply us with our oil, goodie bags. Oh, I know I'm probably forgetting a few. Wild Boar targets, they made all of our targets that we had for our first match, and they're local to us up in North Carolina, our neighbor state here.
Cool.
And Oh, Jeff, help me out. I know there's a couple more I can say.
Lima and Charlie.
No, we don't worry about that guy. No, that guy, we don't worry about that one. But those are our big ones right now.
Yeah,
We're-
I think you pretty much got it.
yeah, we'll have a few more on by the end of the week, hopefully.
Awesome.
Okay, so Rag Proper and Scalawag Tactical, they've both made donations for us down in Texas. We were doing some raffles. We were able to raise some money, and then for WRS, you can't see it, but that AR behind me is getting ready to go out. That was the rifle that we donated. For Bush WRS did a complete custom Cerakote and laser engraving job. Did our logo real big on the magwell and everything. So to those guys, if we can tag those guys, a big thank you to them as well, because I'm very quickly learning that fundraising is a big part of running this thing, and so every little bit helps. So we're very appreciative to the guys that have jumped on board early and from the very beginning. We're still a little nobody when it comes to the social media influencing game. We're hopefully very quickly changing that, but to everybody that supported us, everybody Brian mentioned, thank you guys very much, because this really the events that the fact that we're able to start traveling and putting on these events is only because we've been able to raise money with the help of these guys. So
I love it. This is not the last time you guys are gonna be on this podcast. So when you guys become famous and blow up, just remember this little guy,
We'll get there one day. We just gotta keep plugging along.
Same here. This podcast, once you're Joe Rogan over here, hopefully you have it.
Dude, that's my idol, right? That's the dream level to get to for sure. And it's all about education. I like listening to his stuff. And the other thing too is, like, if we're ever got a match live, we should have like a live podcast.
Oh gosh, please no.
Uncensored after dark.
You should probably have me and Jack on that one. Brian,
I don't want to do that one. I'm out. You're gonna hurt my feelings.
Oh God, love it. Hey, well, guys, thanks for being on the podcast. I appreciate it. Like he said, BattleBuddy3Gun on website, on social media. Give him a follow. Anything else?
No, we appreciate having us on your podcast, and we wish you the best success.
Absolutely, it has been a blast. I appreciate the shout out, appreciate the love. So thank you.
100%. I had a blast. That hour just flew by. We're doing this again. So if you're listening, be sure to follow us at Reticle Up on YouTube and social media. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Reticle Up podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow along on social media at Reticle Up or 3Gun Kenzie.